Here's long-awaited part 2 video of epoxying pickups. So the first one I showed you how I did it, and in this one I'm going to show you how I finished the pickups. So here you can see that this EMG has a nice coating of epoxy on it, and it's real shiny. And it's pretty simple. I use a 320 grit paper, and it's on a soft mat, and also use a green Scotch-Brite pad. What I'm going to do is take the pickup face down on the sandpaper, and I'm only going to go in one direction across the entire length of the pickup, sanding it down. You can see what happens here. I'm trying to remove all the little imperfections in the face of it to get it smooth. There you see it's getting much smoother, but it's not really removing much of the epoxy. A little more. You can see to get the edge, I'm starting at an angle and then working my way flat, which is going to keep that edge round. And on the sides, I tilt the pickup like this. And slowly flatten it out as I keep a forward motion. So you can see now the pickup is not as shiny, but most of the finish imperfections are out, and it's going to be much smoother. Now I like to use a soft pad to sand on, so there's a little bit of play. All right, so it's about done. I move over to the green scrubby, and I do the exact same thing. This is a much finer grit, I guess you would say. It's around, probably around 900 to 1,000 grit equivalent. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm just gonna rub this across in a back and forth motion. Now, in doing this as many times as I have, I've gotten the time that it takes to do this knocked down quite a bit. So now, after the green scrubby, you can see what it looks like. It's not as shiny as it was, but we're going to fix that as well. Do a couple more passes to make sure everything's good. Now I do take some 1,000 grit sandpaper, 1,000, and just kind of touch up the edges a bit, just little spots that I can see that I haven't actually managed to sand, which isn't too many. There we have it. And what I'm going to do now is a step that I just started doing recently. I say recently, it's within the past probably year and a half for me, is I take an oil, and here I'm using the Music Nomad F1 oil, which is just a fingerboard oil. Ugh. Put a small drop on it. And then what this is going to do is it's going to, all the little fine powder that was all over the pickup is going to remove it. And then I'm going to wipe it off, and it'll be much nicer looking. It won't have a shine to it, and that shine actually equates to a more of a stickiness. The first set I did no sanding, and it was almost unplayable. So here is what it looks like after the sanding and the oil, and it only took about 6.5 minutes per pickup, which is a whole lot faster than what it used to take. And there we have it.